everyone, I'm Cindy Lee. I'm an instructor for this course in Intercultural Business Communication. Today we are going to look at the second case, and this case theme is perception of time across cultures. Now let's look at today's content. First, we will study the case, and then there will be our analysis, learning point, and then finally we will have a very quick review as checkpoints. Okay, now first of all, let's look at the country profiles. In this case, we will see business professionals from Italy and Switzerland. So let's have a very quick review of these two countries. First, in Italy. Italy is a very beautiful country. Take the artworks of Botticelli, Leonardo da Vinci, Michelangelo, the operas of Verdi, Puccini, the cinema of Federico Fellini, and the architecture of Venice, Florence, and Rome. Then you have just a fraction of Italy's treasures from over the centuries. So Italy is a great country of great history and artworks. The country's traditional manufacturing industries suffered a downturn during the final years of the 20th century. Now, Italy's contemporary economy is still struggling. Now, let's look at Switzerland. Switzerland is also a very beautiful country. It's in the center of European continent. Switzerland is a majestically scenic country. Switzerland's long-standing neutral status has given it political stability that has helped it become one of the world's wealthiest countries where banking is a key industry. Although it lies close to the geographical center of Europe, and most of its trade is with its European neighbors, Switzerland is not an EU member. A referendum in 2001 went against opening talks on joining. So we should know that in Switzerland is a highly democratic country. They have a referendum for almost every major policy in the country. Referendum means every citizen can vote for important policy or important role. Okay, now let's look at the case here. This is an Italian-Swiss teamwork breakdown, and let's see the story. The background of this case is like this. A major Italian manufacturing company needed a new computerized system for its shipping and handling departments. The Italian company hired a Swiss software and engineering company to develop the computerized equipment. This equipment was going to be put in the Italian company's warehouses. The two companies agreed on a plan with 4 phases and also developed a general schedule of when each phase should be completed. Okay, so 4 phases means 4 stages. So stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, stage 4, and finally the computer system and equipment can be installed and can work. In the first 3 months, let's see what happens. In the first phase, stage 1, the two companies agreed on the preliminary specifications for the new software and began to write a more detailed description of these specifications. These meetings were friendly and effective. The two teams used English in the meetings and had no difficulty speaking and understanding to each other. However, within 3 months, toward the end, there was a breakdown in communication and cooperation between the two companies. So this was a serious problem, right? Now here, that's see the complaint from the Swiss team. The Swiss team said the Italians are not professional because the Italian team changed the software plans too frequently, and the Italians were often late, and therefore the deadlines were not being met. Okay, so the Swiss team, they are very unhappy with the Italian team. They sometimes late for meetings, and the plans, the deadlines are delayed. Their plans or the software, whether they have the agreed earlier or very often change it later on. So the Swiss team said the Italian team is not professional. Okay, then let's hear complaints from the Italian team. They say the Swiss do not care about quality because, first, they often rejected new ideas. They required fixed date for everything. They only care about keeping the schedule, the deadline, rather than the good ideas and the quality for developing the software. So what does it mean? It means that for Italian team, it always takes time to nourish good ideas. So sometimes when good ideas occur to mind, of course they want to revise, they want to change the software, or they want to make the plan better. But when they do so, of course they may affect the deadline a little bit. But a Swiss team, they don't care about good ideas. They only care about meeting the deadline. So this makes the Italian team very unhappy. In the end, the two teams had a very unpleasant cooperation experience. The result did not please either team. So this cross-cultural project could not be carried out successfully. Why? And what happened? What kind of cultural values or cultural differences stopped them from cooperating with each other happily? Now these are the questions for your reflection. Can you answer the following questions in terms of the Italian culture, Swiss culture, and Taiwanese culture? Question number 1. Is it usual to work on several phases of the project at the same time? Question 2. Is it important to manage your time carefully? Why or why not? Question 3. Should the schedule be flexible? Why or why not? Number 4. Is a broken deadline a problem to you or to one of these countries? Why or why not? Okay, so when you are thinking about these questions, let me comment on each one in terms of Taiwanese culture. So later on we will have to see further analysis of Italian and Swiss business cultures. So how about working in Taiwan? When we work in Taiwan, is this common or usual when we do things stage by stage? Or do we prefer to do things in a more flexible way? What do you say? Well, actually in Taiwan, very often it depends on what kind of companies you work for. For example, if you work in a European company or you work in an American company, then if they have standardized working procedure, then you'll probably follow that procedure, right? But if you work in a Taiwanese company, you may find that Taiwanese managers or Taiwanese boss and supervisors, they may expect you to complete several tasks at the same time. They may give you tasks or jobs to do when they think of one thing and they give it to you. And then when they think of another thing, they give it to you. So it's very possible that you have to manage several tasks at the same time. It's really hard for you to do one thing after finishing the previous one. So this is a reality. This is how we work in Taiwanese company. Is it important to measure time carefully? Well, normally we will say yes, but when you have to do many things at the same time, it's really hard to measure time accurately, right? So it's really hard for some people. For example, for myself, it will be very hard for me to measure, okay, how much time I need to complete this task. If I say, okay, I'm going to spend 30 minutes accomplishing this task, this job, but if when I am doing these things, I also answer phone calls or I reply some emails at the same time, then I will need more than 30 minutes. So you may ask me, why don't you just focus on this? But I will say it's very hard because my working habits, my convention, or the convention of this working culture, people expect me to answer phone calls or to deal with that matters right away. So I have to learn how to be multitasking, right? So when people are multitasking, it's really difficult to measure time accurately. So then I would prefer to do what? To make the schedule flexible. And I would prefer to have a flexible deadline as a period of time. Okay? Alright, so this is Taiwanese business culture. As a Taiwanese businesswoman, I work in this country and normally I do things in this way. So how about you? As a Taiwanese student, how do you manage your time? So now let's look at Italian business culture and Swiss business culture. Let's see how they manage their time. In different cultures, do you remember, people perceive time differently and manage their time differently.